Okay, and I mentioned this earlier, that people are on one side of the fence or the other oftentimes when it comes to dry rub or sauce. That was our question this morning. We've been asking you, and you guys have been responding, so I'm going to share a couple of them. The first one is from Cassandra. She says, Texas gals like dry rub. I don't know.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right.
What a debate.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I never listen. I'm gonna listen. I wanna listen to the Dom Zone.
Indeed. Call us. Do you prefer dry or a wet rub? Is there a wet rub?
I think it just means sauce.
Oh. Okay. Well, I must ask a true Texan about that, like you are.
You got here as quick as you could, though.
Yeah. It took quite some time. And I feel like we are truly in Texas today. Some days I don't. Like, where is this? Like, this feels Texas.
For sure.
We are not high atop my garage.
We are not. No.
We are high atop a stage.
Yes. An actual stage. Suds have been popped out there in the crowd.
Are we within 100
crowd?
miles of the 9/11 Memorial in Grapevine? Or are we even a little farther?
I think we're further.
So
I think it's pretty close, though.
You did a little negotiation and said, we'll do it.
Yeah, Kelly and I hammered out our rate for coming out here.
And this place is amazing. We are in Athens, Texas, folks.
Athens, Texas.
I've never been here before.
To this place, which is called the Texan.
Actually, we're 95 miles.
That's what I'm saying. I looked it up this morning and thought, it's right there.
Okay, well then maybe he wants a discount.
Shouldn't have said that.
You already signed. Kelly.
No, I've never been
Sorry.
to, like, this town.
Athens?
I feel like I have, like, I mean, we got high school football guy over here, but I feel like I have way less East Texas experience than I do West Texas experience.
The Athens Bulldogs?
He clearly saw a water tower.
No. That was his team.
Oh, okay.
Athens, Ohio is the Bulldogs. And I just wondered if that travels.
The Scummies.
I don't know Athens.
Rivals. What do we got?
Hornets. Athens Hornets.
That's not one that the left can ever come for.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
but who knows?
Murder Hornets in 2020. That was a troubling time.
Yeah, the connotation there is death. Let's change that.
Let's
name.
take it away.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's like an African connotation. When they do like Africanized bees or something like that, and you're like, whoa, what does that mean?
Yeah, we don't like that out here.
Are you taking to the city already?
Out here in Athens, Texas? Yeah, no. I mean, I'll bet you your price per square foot is a lot better out here. And let's get ourselves some land. You know what I was thinking? So Kelly and Camille are the proprietors. They own this place.
Sure.
Kelly's like, make sure you say Kelly first. Because Kelly also, dude, so don't get too excited, guys. If you're like, Kelly and Camille, I'm going to get right down there. No. I mean, still, he's a fine-looking guy. But it's not what you were all thinking, or at least what everybody up here on this particular stage is thinking. But I was thinking, first of all, they're like, oh, we owned, what's the barbecue place? I'm sorry.
Smoky Bee.
Smoky Bees.
Yeah.
And that's generally a catering thing now. And now this is different, and it's a venue where they will actually have shows and bands. And
I'm going to have my second wedding here.
He said they have comedy, and to prove it, they booked the Dumb Zone podcast.
Well,
so
I got bad news for you.
But it's beautiful. This
it
venue.
Really is. Yeah.
It has to be the nicest place in Athens, Texas. And I was thinking, how come everybody else is so much better at business than us? Like, they can build this thing, and they know business, and they own one.
Well, this has been here for like 100+ years.
Yeah,
probably.
but they had to buy it and expand it, and I'm sure it didn't look like this when they bought it. It was all cobwebby and broken down. They've brought this into the 20th century. 21st century? What century are we in?
The 21st.
Just don't even tell me.
21st century. Okay, yeah.
Just don't even tell him.
It's great being here in the 21st century.
In Athens.
At the Texan in Athens. But I was also thinking, what a venue. How easy could it be to kind of we'll just put our studio space right there, or, where there's nothing but studio space here. We could build out a studio. We'll do the potty.
We could MC some weddings.
Yeah.
You got the jail across the street.
I think
you can
people would love
revive
that.
your musical career.
Yeah, I mean, I've been
ended
waiting
in high school. What was your band name?
You could get the
We
future
had a bunch of
Janitors
them.
of America back together.
That was not the name of the band.
Give me one.
Oh, that was the Jackass band?
Bad Habit.
Okay.
We had a 5 Minute Stranger, which was a loose rape reference. We had A Time for Nothing.
I was thinking that was the left hand, but go ahead.
After you sit on it.
I don't know if maybe not the R word, but more of like
After you sit.
a hookup, But yeah, it was pretty much all the same people. We would just have to rotate out a member every couple years.
Well, what was the future Janitors of America?
That was really more of just like how Dan's dad played racquetball at like a club.
Yeah,
It was kind of like that.
and had the nude sauna.
Yeah, it was just it was a men's club for 14 to 17-year-olds. That's pretty much it. Where we would egg houses.
Well, it's much too big of a venue for my
For
liking.
us, yeah,
Only that
I
I,
mean,
don't think we're going to fill this up. But
No, I don't. I think that has left the barn.
The great news is that this is not live. It's live to tape. But we're inviting you out here after you listen to this. You should stop by this place in Athens, Texas.
Yes.
In fact, go to their website, the Texan. What's the website? What's the URL?
The Texan No, you don't have to do that. The TexanAthens.com. See music here. Get married here. Get married a second time here. Whatever you want to do. I did want to tell you guys a brief story about parenting this morning. So my wife had to go to a funeral this morning. So she left super, super early.
Without you?
Yeah, I mean, what was I going to do? Miss the Texan?
No.
So she had to fly to New Orleans, and I had the girl.
So a family member?
Grandmother.
Okay, that's always interesting to me. Where's the line? What funeral? Who? How close?
I mean, if it were local, I might have.
Like my wife has an aunt that she would say, I have to go.
Right, like
to
what
Cleveland
what's
but
the cousin's name?
Oh, cousin Tommy.
If cousin Tommy.
They were out
Yeah.
at dinner last night. Yeah.
So
by the way,
yeah.
they get back,
Lit.
or she gets back,
and it's
at like
on
10:30.
and
I'm like,
going.
I would never. And then she's like, "Oh, it was great. I got to catch it." And then she proceeds to tell me about, "Oh, his daughter does this, and his son does." And
Like, I don't care at all.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go.
Yeah,
because I don't care about this stuff. Don't now relive it. All right, sorry, your night.
No, you're fine. It's the morning.
Oh.
So on Thursdays, we take my daughter to something called occupational therapy. It's basically where they teach her how to hold a pencil. Mm-hmm. And,
You
it's
do
really
a lot
cool.
of that at Montessori. Is she Montessori school too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. But
do
so
a lot
we
of dexterity stuff.
Yeah, we do this once a week. And she's like becoming more familiar of what she has on what day of the week. And so this morning she came and got in bed with me. It was like 6:30. And she was like, "What do I got today?" And I go, "Well, we call it gym school. It's OT, right? It's 45 minutes. She has to go back there and do like balancing exercises and learn to write, basically." She goes, "What's after gym school?" I go, "Well, then you got regular school."
So you're her personal assistant, basically, just reading her schedule.
"What do I have after regular school?" I go, "Well, today you have cheer camp, which is something that we're doing here in the spring. It's like an hour. It's basically just gymnastics." Mm-hmm. And she goes, "It's a long day." I was like,
already?
Yeah, I was like, that is actually a pretty long day. And she was like, "I hate long days." She's like, "Are they always like this?" And I honestly just like receded into my mind of being like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
Like
you think this is bad.
You have 70 years of this left.
Yeah.
She goes, "I hate long days." I'm like, well.
She's wise. She's
pretty
already
much,
wise.
It's pretty much just how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Like forever. She's like, what time will I be done? And I'm like, I mean, who can say?
Yeah. That's
It'll
awesome.
it'll be dark. I can tell you that. It'll be nighttime before you get to relax. I can promise you that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's kind of like washed over her that she's like, this is just life.
She asked you if she could vape.
No, she didn't have to ask. I handed it to her.
Yeah. Take the edge off.
Yeah, exactly.
Pop a Zin.
Yeah. 3 millis, not 60s.
You try to wait as long as you can in the day, and then you just need it.
What, the vape?
Yeah, I don't know if you're I'm
Oh.
going to do that, reach over to the nightstand when I wake up.
Yeah, you do.
You do? That's what
course.
you do?
Yeah.
Okay, because
I thought you were going to say you want to wait as long as you can to inform your kids that they're pretty much not going to like day-to-day life ever.
yeah, that's unfortunate that she's already
Dude,
there.
think about whenever you were a kid and you would go to like football practice at like 6:30 in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning. You leave your house at 5:40. You're at school until 4. You get home, you have chores. Like you're basically working like a 12.
And you're gonna find this out. You're gonna be mad at how much homework they give.
Oh my gosh, I can't.
Like, wait, they were there for 7 hours today, and now you're
What'd you
giving
guys
them
do while
another
you were
2
there?
hours? Yeah.
What was going on?
Like, you're putting this all on me, and now the thing is, because then I have to go through it. I don't know.
Yeah, you
I don't know algebra.
calculus.
I can't remember.
Yeah, you don't even know where Portugal is.
I really don't.
So yeah, that was just a crushing moment where I had to tell her, hey, it's going to suck for a long time. And then the other thing that happened to me last night was I went to a historic like land board meeting thing.
Generic.
I don't even know what it was actually called. It didn't feel
So
like
you
city
live on
council.
historic land.
Yeah.
All that near Grapevine, Main Street.
Yeah.
Anything around there is deemed. Like, we need extra board meeting if you want to do any construction.
Yeah, and some houses are different than others. Like some are like you just can't touch it.
Is yours a century home?
No.
Okay.
But I did have to go there, and there's like 8 people on the panel.
Because you're trying to get renovations to build an office.
Pretty much, yeah. Expand the house a little bit and get myself an office. And there's like 8 people up there. And then I have been like completely detached.
Do they have powdered wigs and stuff? Or?
No, they were not. They were not dressed as
Okay.
British, court members from 300 years ago, justices, I suppose. But we got there, and the guy was like, I'd never met this guy before. My wife has handled this completely, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna, kind of sell your case, but if you want to say something, it wouldn't hurt. And I was like, damn, it's my time. Mm-hmm. So he's up there, guy in a suit.
We
and
got
he's,
audio?
No. I think that might actually be illegal.
We don't care.
Yeah. So he puts like our plans up on the board on like 2, TV screens up there, and they're like all passing around documents. And then he was like, and if the parties would like to say anything over here, and I'm like, yeah, I got it.
So your fate depends on these 8 individuals, and if they kind of don't like your vibe, the cut of your jib.
I don't really know that I actually had to do this,
Okay.
but I feel like post last summer with court,
Yeah.
now I'm kind of like, I got this.
Okay. You didn't have the experience last year.
Yeah.
Now you've been through it.
Yeah, so
Like I've been through way worse than this,
exactly. So we both walked up
which is
there.
why I want to date a POW.
Do you want to expound on that?
Well, I know I'm a difficult person,
Mm-hmm.
and anything, though, that she will have to deal with,
Like
She
going
will-
to dinner with her cousin.
yeah, she will always say, I've dealt with way worse than this. I was electrocuted. I was whatever. I was waterboarded.
Yeah.
And this guy's just being lazy and,
Right.
whatever. So,
He just makes my kids wait until noon to open presents.
yeah, everything's
not so
great with
bad.
him. Yeah.
Do you remember the time that I feel like the greatest hypothetical we ever had was used to be 500 pounds or used to be homeless?
I love that one.
Thank you. That wasn't original. That was me.
Do you remember where we were whenever we came up, or you came up with that?
Yeah, we were in the land of the homeless
We were absolutely in the land of the homeless.
in California.
Yeah.
When we go out there for training cramp. Training camp is it confirms what I thought when I was a kid.
Which
Because
is
I
that
grew up in Cleveland,
If you're homeless,
and I thought, Why do you live here?
Just move west.
I just thought, just start walking that way. Get a compass.
Are the people loving this, or is this a little,
Okay, one guy.
Tepid.
Hey, the fact that there are people, that's a big win for us.
Yeah.
All Kelly's family members are here.
Right, pretty much.
No, I was just always thinking, I'm 6 years old, 8 years old. Like, if I was in that position, I would just start walking west. You got all the time in the world. There's whatever.
Calendar's free.
Yeah, and then you eventually will have to stop because there'll be water. You can't walk anymore. And then you'll be in California. It'll be really warm. You go to sleep on the beach. You're not going to sleep in the doorway of a office building downtown. Anyway, where were we?
Yeah, so I got up there and
oh, you're at court.
I killed it. What do you think I did?
Were you eloquent?
I think so.
Did you state your case?
Yeah, I just told him I was like, I don't want to move. I want to live here, but I also.
Oh, did you give him a little BS about loving Grapevine and?
Yeah, but I actually do like it there.
That this is important.
I didn't bring up the Christian cell phone company.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Did you
I
lead
could
with
go
that?
spend my money in another city.
That's kind of how I said it. I was like,
I'm trying to keep, make Grapevine great again.
Yeah, I was like, exactly. That's exactly what I did. I maggot him. I was like, yeah, I want to live here. I just don't want to be, next to the ball and chain every morning.
And you kind of like just jerked your head that way, like you get it.
And they all did.
Wink at the bros, like, come on, man.
They're like, oh, dude, give this guy an addition.
Did they actually vote right then?
Yeah.
Like while you were like, we don't need to hear anyone. They stand up and they're all cheering and yelling.
It's not that far off. Like there's a gavel.
Oh, really?
Damn,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Everybody's playing dress up.
Oh my gosh, it's such dress up. Like, yeah, they actually were like, I don't think we need to hear anymore.
That's awesome, man.
What was the vote?
Oh, unanimous.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Did they yell hip hip and then some? Oh yeah, and they carry out and
Yes. They
what color Gatorade was the?
the dump.
That's awesome.
It was really weird, man.
So it's happening.
I mean, it's at least crossed that threshold.
Okay, there's a lot of. Are there palms to be greased?
There might have to be a couple palms to be greased. Yeah, we might have to
dip into the old business.
Somebody
account?
might have to wet the beak a little bit.
Yeah,
but it looks like it's happening. But yeah, like I felt like
William D. Tate there.
No, but his spot was like his.
Is it like a bigger throne?
It's in the middle.
Yeah,
yeah, it's at the middle and it's at the top, and it was just like I was like, man, where's Billy D?
Yeah,
he was not there, but. And I feel like there was a couple dudes that might have been listeners that were kind of looking at me like, what are you doing here? Like, we know you're a moron.
You're destroying.
Yeah.
What you're doing.
I felt like Will Ferrell in Old School. Like the James Carville speech where he just got up there and
and all of a sudden
yeah,
he thought he was the biggest dope.
Like we walked out and Kristen was like, where did that come from?
And then
I was like, I don't know.
The Will Ferrell I don't know.
I have no idea what just happened.
But it's excellent, man.
It was weird, but it was an experience for sure. Anyways.
Well, I can't wait. Will you show us the plans?
I mean, in what world would you be able to look at them and make sense of them?
I don't know. You could explain it. Like, are you putting a little secret room and a whatever, If you're making
a secret room?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like some sort of what am I, the guy from Cleveland?
Yeah, like you pull out a book and then the bookshelf turns and now you can go back in there and
there's no
room. Michael Jackson room.
Yeah,
You don't have to use it for the same thing, just for fun.
Just for fun, no.
Just for not being around everyone. Is it going to be as big as the den? Your office?
Close.
Okay.
Close.
Have to do maybe transfer some watching parties over there.
Yeah.
All good, as long as Blake can deal with the cat.
Just flame up.
I just want a place where I can hang out with that cat.
That's what it's all about?
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
By the way, a potential guest of ours says, still struggling today, tomorrow way better. But we are...
Okay, we'll get him next week.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we do have you know what? You want to work on just calling her right now? We'll just pop her right up?
Yeah.
Okay, because we want to talk to Sarah Hepola. But I did want to promote the greatness of Michael Copeland is
Yes,
here.
cakes.
And he is videoing today. If you are watching us on YouTube already, you're like, yeah, I know. I walked in here today, Michael Copeland. Michael Copeland Productions or just Copeland Productions? Copeland Productions. CopelandProductions.com. Copeland.
That's where I live.
I said to him, I go, hey, because his videos look so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe that he goes to this trouble. We know Michael Copeland. We don't know if he's really into I don't know where he stands on life or abortion.
Whoa.
But I know where he stands on Bono.
Pro?
Yes, he is pro. And so with that,
It's not pro-abortion.
with being pro bono, he, he'll do all this like amazing work. And I said, hey, I don't go back and watch the videos too much. I just kind of skim by them. But I live it. And I said, do you put your, your website up there? Do you put your logo on there? He's like, oh no, would I be allowed to do that? I'm like, of course.
You can do anything you want.
Yeah, put a scroll with your name and number, and if you're looking to hook up or something, you're looking for a little strange, just put your burner phone on there, whatever you want.
Yeah, Grindr.
It's your video, really.
Yeah.
And your gram, your whatever. I don't know.
You sound super hip right now.
Do I? Mm-hmm. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You want to call her?
Well, I thought you were going to be calling her while I was talking.
He was kind of just vamping for you.
I'm killing time, and we're calling the great Sarah Hepola, who is
Bad acting.
starting a new job.
This is Sarah.
Wait, hold on. I'm
Hold
still
on.
dialing, Sarah. Hold on. Okay, now it's ringing. Okay, now do that again.
This is Sarah.
Oh, Sarah
Hey,
Hepola.
Sarah Hepola.
Yeah, Sarah. We all know Sarah Well, maybe you don't. Sarah Hepola, who went from being a dirty blackout drunk to
You're so mean about that.
New York
dude.
Times. What? To New
You
York
forgot
Times.
the word sexy. Dirty sexy.
Dirty.
blackout
Well, that
drunk.
implies, blackout drunk. To me, that is synonymous with sexy.
Ugh, there's so much wrong with you. Keep
Yeah,
going.
we have it's a better chance. Anyway, it's true, Sarah. I read the book.
I'm hanging up.
No, don't hang up. Not yet. We want to promote your new bit. You actually, Sarah, is now why don't you tell us what you're doing for the Dallas Morning News?
Oh, yeah. I'm a new feature staff writer at the Dallas Morning News. Our Dallas Morning News.
Wow.
Which
I know.
Sarah has a podcast too. It's called Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. It's on Substack.com. Or, like I did the other day, I've been meaning to subscribe. You can just go to the whatever your favorite podcast thing is, like Apple, and you kind of click there. It's really easy, Jake, to subscribe.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
To a podcast off Substack if you just go to any of your favorite, podcast download thingies. So what are you going to be doing there? What does that mean?
Well, I'm covering, I think the job description is something that's covering Dallas's big personalities, lively scenes, and the things that get people talking.
Like Blake.
Yeah. Blake is probably number one.
Yeah.
It's actually 3 on my list. Any other suggestions that you guys have?
Maybe what's the guy's name that bought off Clarence
Chili's.
Thomas?
Oh, Harlan Crow's on my list.
That's a pretty good one.
Harlan Crow is a big fish if you can catch him.
So how does this come about? Do you have to go to a job interview? I just don't see you really doing that.
I know.
Yeah, you're a rebel.
What happened? It's true. I don't know how long I'm going to last, you guys. I might be fired later today.
Us either.
It's what happened, to be frank, is that I was broke. I mean, the freelance life is really hard. And I know that I look like I'm living large based on the amount of tacos I eat and, the cats on Instagram. But it's a hard life, and, Substack doesn't always pay the big money like you guys get. Anyway, I reached out. Here's the other thing. I've spent a lot of my career wanting to kind of write for the masses, write for New York Times, write for the big publications. And after years of that, you realize it is such a giant pain in the ass. And I kind of wanted to write about the place where I live. It's kind of a novel concept. It's actually one of the things that made me fall in love with the ticket, to the extent that I fell in love with the ticket, was that I felt that you guys, back in the day, I mean you, but also your brothers, were talking about the place where we lived and having a water cooler conversation for an era that kind of was post-water cooler for a lot of us.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, no, we're very excited for you, and so much so that we weren't going to do this before, but now that you're there, we've been talking, as you know, discussing maybe we could do something a little more regular with you here in the future, like in this forum. Now that you're really, really famous. Before we were like, I don't know.
Now that you're not just some vagabond.
Yeah.
Well, I am still a vagabond. I'm just kind of an upscale vagabond.
Do you have to go to the office every day?
Oh, my God, Jake. Oh, my God. I have to go 3 times a week.
That's not horrible.
No, it's not horrible, but they gave me...
Compared to 0, though.
It's a really... By the way, it's a really nice office. It's in the Statler building.
Okay.
And it's that's 10 minutes away from my house. So, it really just couldn't be more convenient. But you would think I am slogging to outer space the way that I treat this. I am just oh, my God, I've got to go in. I haven't even been in today because I've been hustling. I'm, on my way to an interview at 1 o'clock. I'm actually, driving as I'm talking to you guys. I was on Central Expressway just a moment ago. By the way, if I had died on Central Expressway, would that have, made your podcast more famous, do you think?
We definitely would have paywalled it. If this is a free one, we would have. We 100% would have capitalized. Hey, do you think Jerry's that lady's dad?
Oh, 100%. 100%, Jake. Why are you even asking that?
I don't know. I'm just very interested in the Maury
the
Maury type situation that Cowboys media could produce. Okay. Where
not only is Jerry her dad, but if this goes the way I want it to, this will start a rolling thunder that leads to more paternity cases on him. He has more than one child. We just know that. That's got to be true.
Kind of like the Tiger Woods
all
situation.
Access to the Cowboys, by the way.
Yeah.
You what about the Cowboys?
I said I've just lost all access to the Cowboys, by the way.
Oh, that you used to have, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot, the other podcast. You want to pimp that, or do you not care about that one anymore?
Oh, the America's Girls podcast is a 8-part docuseries on the history and cultural impact of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. It's a great little, you can do it in an afternoon on a drive, and it's about the 50 years of, sort of the origin story of sexy sideline dancers in the NFL and how Dallas started it all. And I love that little podcast. They never gave me access anyway, so I don't know why I'm upset about losing it. They never returned my calls back then.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought they were cooperative.
I reached out to cheerleaders individually, through their Instagram accounts and Facebook and stuff like that, and worked those channels. But no, the actual Cowboys media never got back to me. They have a new press guy. At least they did by the time I was done with the podcast. Because remember, Rich Dalrymple was the guy in charge of press. Sorry, I just remembered that. After the podcast came out, their press guy got caught. The scandal of his recording the cheerleaders in the dressing room was exposed, quote unquote, and he got, kicked out. And so they got a new press person that was way, way better, and finally called me, but the project was done at that point.
He's never taken any photos of anybody that didn't want to.
Right.
I'm sure that the second guy that came into that role was like, I'm gonna ixnay.
There's one thing I can't do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Like just take that one off my to-do list. But the Jerry thing, y'all, I'm so excited that judge ruled for that paternity test to go through, because it is a Maury situation. We're gonna have like a Dallas-based Maury, you are the father situation, and I am here for it.
Okay, so
There's not a lot of things that I feel like total like glee about, and this one I do, because I really believe this young woman, who I've heard is actually, not a money grubber. She really just would like to say who her father is. I'm sure there's ulterior motives. I have no doubt, but there's also just, I think any one of us would like to be able to just not have to lie in public about who our father is.
I don't know.
Well,
You don't really want to open this can of worms. Dan doesn't really know who his dad is. So
is it Jerry Jones?
I think he's always kind of had the position that he would rather be fairly well compensated and not have a relationship with his dad, as opposed to not compensated at all and not have a relationship with his dad. So
I don't have sympathy for her at all. Because
Really?
Yeah, I never knew my dad. Okay, get in line behind millions of others, including me. And yes, she did. They had a steady income. She got a Range Rover on her 16th birthday. You know what I got? A 1978 Pinto. A 1978 Ford Pinto that did not go in reverse. And that means you had to park. You had to look forever to find a place where you could get out of there. Yeah.
That's why you're back in guy now. You're just showing off.
Now you finally have the luxury of being able to reverse.
Yeah, maybe that's it. And the camera and all that. But the point is, I just have this empty hole in my heart. Well, sack up, or she's a girl. Toughen up, Buttercup. That's what you would yell at a girl, right?
All right, 2 points, Dan. 1, my new nickname for you is Buttercup. 2, I think you are the poster child for why people should know their own fathers, okay? 3, because I just added 1, she couldn't consent to this. All of this stuff that you're talking about, her getting the Range Rover and the party and all that, all of that happened before she could ever consent to it. It's not right. And her mother made that deal. She didn't.
Well, let me say this. I'm just jealous. I am.
That's what I want.
Why couldn't my mom have slept with Jerry Jones and not,
or at least like
whatever
Art
the
Modell or
yeah, someone Drew Carey, just somebody in Cleveland that's well known.
Well, I guess
100%.
Cincinnati is
And
Jerry Springer, right? So that's not.
I completely understand that, Dan, and I think it's totally reasonable. And my mother is a therapist, and so one of the roles I intend to play here is to pop out, Freudian theories about each of you, like a little pimple on your back. So I feel like we just got one from Dan, and I feel proud.
All right. Well, good step one. And congrats on the job. I know you got that job, or not a job interview. You just have a meeting. It's this part of the corporate, world that you're in now?
I did go in for a meeting. I emailed the editor, and then I was like, hey, do y'all have a job? And he was like, oh, I think that we might have something. And then 4 months passed. And then he was like, oh, come in and meet some people. And I was like, okay. And I'm a mess. I cuss in the meetings. I'm always chewing nicotine gum. It's just I just feel like a feral cat, and I'm having to be domesticated. And it's oh my God, I have to wear shoes inside, but I'm going to do it. It's going to be okay. And I think it's going to be great. I'm so excited about writing about Dallas. I'm going to write about Jerry Jones. I'm going to write about this woman, Alexandra Davis, I think is her name. And then Dan's going to fall in love with her and realize how wrong he was to badmouth her.
And I'll meet her, and we'll be like, oh, we have so much in common. How
about coffee?
Yeah, we should have some coffee and
Exactly.
kind of talk this over. And boy, I got this stack of bills over here, Alexandra, and maybe you can help me out on this.
All right, Sarah.
I'll give you a DNA sample. Know what I mean, Sarah?
Jesus,
Oh,
Pete.
God.
I mean, I'm trying to roll with everything.
You know what
but
I was
that
going
one
to
right
say?
There is just.
You know what I was going to say was, I wonder, just because like Trump had this huge judgment against him and his $400 million, and like it feels like he can always just go, well, no, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, will Jerry ever actually submit to this test, or can he somehow
appeal or
I don't think I have my doubts on whether we're actually ever going to know.
He's going to die before it happens. He'd rather die than do this.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I don't understand. Genuinely, I don't. Why? His wife has got to know.
Yeah.
His family's got to know. What's the holdup exactly?
Like, especially if he's
pride?
already paying the money. You know, like what is the financial disincentive to doing it if you already have a trust, you're already paying this person, annually, then just admit it.
It's an interesting though.
Public knowledge. It's easy to hide it under the table.
Yeah, but everybody already knows though.
Everybody always knows he's a dirtbag.
Yeah, like this.
But it is an interesting precedent for the future though, just based on yes, the mom made this financial agreement. That baby did not.
Yeah.
So that's.
And to her point, maybe he just doesn't want if I open the floodgate.
Yeah, yeah. If I make my DNA public.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't want precedent in his own life, because if this happens and she wins, more people will come.
Yep.
So he's holding a finger in the dam, so to speak.
Yeah. All right, well, go get we're making you late for your first meeting or whatever.
You are. You guys, I'm so excited to be doing this with y'all. I do mostly love you both.
All
right. We'll see you.
Okay, bye.
There's the great Sarah Hepola. You can read her in the Dallas Morning News. Also on her podcast, she was talking about this week, they have an intern, Blake.
Who?
I don't
you
know
trying
who
to
it is.
poach?
I'm just saying, they have an intern. How
Yeah.
come, what are we doing here?
We can't even hire a video guy.
I didn't say hire.
I think our Bono limit has reached its capacity.
Let's keep trying.
Yeah, I mean, geez. We'll take as much Bono as we can get. Hey, I haven't mentioned today is Leap Day. Is that exciting to you?
No.
Oh.
I think it's weird. I think I can't remember who posted this last month, but I do think that there should be a more standardized calendar where every single month has the same amount of days, and every month starts on either a Sunday or a Monday.
Yeah, I've heard that. I heard Razor talking about that.
That might have been who it was.
And then it kind of caught fire on the ticket a little bit. And
it's just too easy.
That does resurface every few years or so. Somebody brings this up. 13 months.
Yeah.
28 days per month. But then there's one extra day. So I don't like the first is always on Monday and the second is always on Tuesday. I think that one extra day should be the one that shifts everything one over every year. Because your birthday, you don't want it always on Wednesday. Occasionally you want your birthday on Saturday.
Does anybody really care about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your birthday falls on a weekend, that's a big deal.
Don't you just have the party on the weekend?
Don't you think?
not
I'll
the
bet
same.
your wife cares.
Not the same.
Although she does seem to have like a birthday quarter.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not even a month. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's B1.
Yeah, no, the leap year thing.
New Year's Day is like the extra whatever.
The only thing I ever really remembered about the leap year day was just Mike Reiner's daughter.
Yes,
It's
Jordan.
the only thing I knew. I didn't know anybody who had that birthday, or this birthday, I suppose.
You know what's really weird? So I'm getting Today in History ready this morning. And I'll go to like baseballreference.com, Pro Football, those to see what are the sports birthdays today. And usually there's 100 birthdays on there. For all the people who have ever played Major League Baseball, there's 100 people that on February 28th were born. And today it's like 10. Yeah, it makes sense.
Sure.
Right? This is a every 4 years thing. Are we still doing every 4 years? How often we do leave here these days?
For now.
I think they might actually be voting to expand.
Yes.
Thank you, Blake. That was a college football joke that he liked.
But people listening to us,
Yeah.
I got 5 birthdays
Wow.
on February 29th.
People that are born on February 29th love to tell you about it.
That's a good point, actually.
Actually, the first one was for yesterday,
Well, that doesn't at all count then.
but makes it 6. This is Gabby Winters. Wants to wish happy birthday to Jeff Winters. He is 42 yesterday.
Happy birthday, Jeff.
That's right. We have Thursday, the 29th, is my 36th.
Hot.
Let's see. I'm going to tell you how much I appreciate. Yeah, okay. Let's see. You know, of course, he loves us.
Just killing it.
This guy loves us.
Yeah.
He says, I'm sure like most listeners, there are small things I look forward to every episode. Right now, it is Jake's abrupt endings to news segments and Blake's random mascots. He's from Saxy.
Dude. That's a layup.
That's
Mustangs.
easy money. Yeah.
Mustangs?
Yeah. That's not too far from him.
Mm-mm.
That's from Brad Whiteside. He says attaches a news article from my birthday, so you don't step in a bear trap. My brother Ricky passed away in 2016. The news article is, after his mom gave birth to him, the story was his brother had a leap day birthday as well. So 4 years earlier. I think that's an amazing, ironic note.
I would agree.
If your mom
Also very sad.
that he's not alive anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what this talk is about. This talk is about how cool it is, and he included it.
He did.
Like he wants us to know.
He did.
So happy birthday to Ricky as well as let's see, did he give? Oh, Brad Whiteside. Mr. Liebman, my birthday, Thursday, February 29th.
Mm-hmm.
I only get one of these every 4 years. So
See, they love talking
They love
about
saying
it.
it every time.
And one of these emails, they're going to say, you know, today's my 32nd birthday, but I'm really
actually
turning
only-
8.
Yeah.
I'm certain I'll be woken up in that special way, and I plan on using the Jack Abernathy wolf catching technique your historian guest talked about last week.
Good grief.
My leaders are Blake, Video Man's background laugh, and FDR doing the Cotton Eye Joe at the 1943 State of the Union address.
That's not exactly what he did.
He just stood up, okay? It was a powerful
Cotton Eye
moment.
Joe.
It was a powerful moment in the movie Pearl Harbor.
What if, though? The nation just rallies.
Didn't they actually? He was the first one off the boat at Normandy, right?
Yeah,
They-
no, he stormed the beach, yeah.
Yep.
He ran right up there.
Yep.
Full speed.
Grabbed the Luger out of Hitler's hand and said, I got him. Anyway, that's from Rick, day 2, DF, number 923. Uncle Hotmail, Leap Day birthday shout out to Genevieve, my ... Well, I don't know what she is. You see, much like the hang zone in the ticket, we separated last year, so happy effing birthday, I guess, from Daniel.
That means it was her call.
Yeah, are you still sending that in?
Well, maybe also, like you say, if you even know someone with a February 29th birthday, you need to... Like, we all knew Jordan Reiner. Like
Yeah, but I wouldn't send her birthday in.
But if she just left you and you're sad.
Like, maybe she'll hear this. Maybe Genevieve
I just can't think of anything more, frankly, cuckish than sending in your ex-girlfriend's birthday to a podcast. Like, that's...
That shows how torn up he is. He wants her back.
She's not coming back.
She might.
Well, this ain't going to help. Call me. Genevieve.
Cool name.
Hello,
It is a
Dan.
cool
DF 1927, day 3. Let's see. I fear I'm writing you on the Sacred Business Wednesday, but I can't keep up with the schedule due to Jake's excessive and unplanned vacations. However, as a fellow husband to a much more successful wife, I understand how Jake's lavish lifestyle can look to lesser men.
This is just...
I write to you today as my wife's birthday is, and I thought, why not? Maybe she'll get a chuckle out of getting a shout-out on the podcast that you pay for, and then he has the rolling eyes emoji. Apparently his wife is like, why? You're
What's
paying
the point?
for this?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Beezy. P.S. Blake, Wiley resident for 7 years here.
All right.
I support you.
Pirates.
However,
Guy's on fire.
advanced metrics are indicating we have reached stabilized levels of Blake.
Oh,
So he's
so
not
no
saying
more,
more.
no less. Yeah, we're right there.
Analytics doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And a couple quickies that I'll just read. They're non-birthday emails, but this one says, I popped into my closest Eatsies for some lunch today. The checkout line was stacking up. An employee came around one of the registers, asked her coworker for the login code. Sheepishly, she told him 6969.
Should you really be reading this right now?
What are people going to do? Get behind the register and put it in? Check out themselves?
I don't know. Should I?
My suggestion is no, but I also didn't do it.
He says, I look over and gave the Adam Romo picture a mental hell yeah, brother. Thought I'd share the comedy as you are a comedy-based podcast. I think I really wanted to read that and didn't really pay attention
Focus on
to
the
that.
meats.
I don't know. You want to beep out some of it? I can ask him.
He's your friend.
That's from Jacob. And one more from Steve. He said, I just saw a Dumb Zone sticker in a North Richland Hills sushi restaurant men's room. Great pub.
Awesome.
It was not me, but
Day 2, 1288. So, yeah. If I endorse that, right? If you want
Sure.
to throw our sticker up in a...
I don't recall where I was recently. I guess it was, it might have been whenever we were, where did we go last that was like far away? Might have been in Oklahoma. But I saw some very creative stall messages.
Oh, that's right. You are a guy who will...
Pop in. It's a 2-hour drive. Yeah. Saw some phone numbers, saw some...
A dump on the way.
Yeah.
I drank a pot of coffee before hitting in the car, and I didn't have to stop on the way here. Yet,
Well,
I stopped on the way here, and we'll stop on the way home, and have already, used the bathroom here.
amazing.
Anyways.
yeah, the stall
People are
messages
still... Yeah.
have to, well, it's got to taper off, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't... It's nothing like the dirtbag days we grew up in.
Yeah.
But they're still out there.
I just never had a pencil on me.
A pencil?
Whatever.
Sharpie.
Okay.
Are
Or
you under
anything.
the impression that a pencil, like you could just write that on a bathroom stall and that would work?
No, if you had a number 2, you could kind of carve it in there.
But sometimes I think some of those guys, that's their bit.
Yeah,
And
for
they
sure.
actually carry a Sharpie wanting to.
For sure.
I just remember the one when I was a little kid reading. As I write on bathroom walls, I roll my S into little balls.
That's
Wait.
really, yeah.
Can I say shit?
You can say whatever you want.
I know, we're at a public place. I don't want Kelly getting all mad. He made me such a great planked salmon. Anyway,
I saw just the other
As a-
day, I saw the ass grass or
Cash,
cash sticker in one.
I love that.
I know you do.
So, as I write on bathroom walls, I roll my shit into little balls. He who reads these words of wit, eat those little balls of shit.
That's really good.
And that stuck with, I was like 8, and I'm like,
That's poetic.
this is great.
yeah.
I can't
This is
wait.
basically Shakespeare.
I can't wait till I'm old enough to carry a Sharpie around, and I'm... You guys want to do some kind of sports stuff?
Sure.
Do I have a sports open?
From the wonderful world of sports, radio
Who's
sports
calling me?
scoreboard.
Do you know what I do for a living? Sort of.
I have some Steven.
Let's do it.
So Steven's at the combine, and I guess I didn't really consider why it's Steven and not Jerry?
Well, it's usually both, but it will only be one this time around. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
I was thinking, I don't know, Jerry's old. Maybe he's having a bad week, but he's actually having a bad week for other reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, and so kind of like we noted yesterday, Steven is super generic.
As we will note tomorrow.
Yeah, Blake.
Yeah.
I have regret. So yesterday we recorded.
We don't have to stop down for this.
We recorded a podcast to air it because we wanted to keep everybody's schedule regular, and we're going to air it tomorrow. But since this was like a video show and it's a free show and all that, we wanted this to be day of.
Yeah.
And so I now think we should have just put out yesterday's yesterday, because this is a weird mental game I'm playing all morning on. Well, how much?
Then just stop.
Well, he just said, we did yesterday, and now tomorrow you're going to hear a podcast where like, hey, I have this new Stephen Jones audio.
Nobody cares.
I'm a perfectionist.
Go on.
So like we played tomorrow, we played some Steven audio tomorrow.
So stupid.
Like we will say tomorrow.
Anyway, so you ask him about the draft. He's going to sit there and tell you, it's just very cliche, right? So, but he does mention a couple things, including his thoughts for Micah. And so here's Steven at the Combine.
Sports?
I think that Micah, it's just
see, it's getting there because it's
a guy who's very competitive, a guy who's
pretty good.
Is all about football, if you will. Right. I mean, we all understand
I had to fade in,
faith and family as well, but football's got to be important to him. And then, we just look for a guy who's going to really help take this team to the next level. And certainly we'll be spending a lot of time on that and trying to make sure when we're picking a player that he fits, those things. And, we certainly have obvious needs, on both defense and offense that we'll need to look at with guys who are going to be free agents. Obviously, Tyron and Badaz and,
I'm sorry, who?
Who is that?
Tyler Biotish?
That's who he's talking about. He said Badaz.
Defense and offense that we'll need to look at with guys who are going to be free agents. Obviously, Tyron and Badaz, and you got guys who are
because Biotish is a free agent this year.
Yeah, Badaz.
Yeah, it sounds like a children's name for like a sheep that's Des Bryant. It's like Des.
Jeez.
Free on that side. Obviously, the linebacking situation, we got a little thin there. What Mike's vision is for Micah. Is he a true, pass rusher most of the time, or has got some, last year he ended up, that's pretty much what he did, and I think, very effective, but I think it hurt us with our linebacker depth because we were thinking, he was going to do more linebacking, but
linebackering, yeah.
Obviously,
Oh my God!
Is that the fade you wanted?
Yeah. That's fine. That was all off the air, but go ahead.
No, but he's saying that they wanted Micah to play more middle linebacker, and maybe they view him, and maybe Zimmer will come in and say, "You're more valuable to us at linebacker."
Okay, so you are saying he said something worthy of listening to, and not just
at
generic.
the beginning.
Yeah. I think we've alleged that I think Micah doesn't want to. I think because of the money you make as an edge rusher and the stats you can put up in that way.
Also, it's so much easier to find a guy to play middle linebacker than it is to rush off the edge. Like, that's a disastrous decision.
Yeah, let alone Micah wanting to do it.
That's a bad
That's where the
call.
Cowboys want him to do it.
Yeah.
Is this contract related at all?
Of course. Of course it is. But also, it's Leighton related. And it's Jabril Cox failed related. And they've been trying to play, 210-pound safeties at linebacker for 2 years related. So you can just go find a guy. The idea of taking Micah off the edge is like the dumbest thing I can possibly imagine for their defense. And it seems to be picking up a lot of steam.
Well, yeah, because he noted that Quinn liked to play a lot of 3 safety looks, 2 linebackers, and Zimmer is more of a 3 linebackers guy.
Well,
more old school. So maybe we do see that more next year.
All right, so I have a piece of Stephen Jones audio that I found a few weeks ago, actually, and we just never got to it. But it was on that Cowboys podcast with Saad.
About
KT,
the Cowboys. Good listen.
Machota.
Machota.
And then there's one guy I'm not as familiar with.
Kent Garrison.
Okay, so did he used to work for the Cowboys?
Yes.
So tell me if this disturbs you as much as it does me, because we are clearly ushering in the Stephen Jones era where he will be the GM and owner of the team and all that.
Unless it's Alexandra.
Right. So, okay, so I'm trying to remember. They're just talking. I can't remember what led into this, but he ends up giving a draft day story because apparently he worked for the Cowboys media and he would have access to, I don't know if he says all this, it's only a minute clip, but he had access to all the phone calls and the tapes and everything. And then they would have to go through all the many hours of it and then pare it down to see what you get on the website. Okay. Stephen Jones story here.
When I worked there, one of my favorite parts was after the draft, going through all the tape of the draft and seeing who called them, because it's all recorded, like all the trade requests and all that. It's all just seeing, all that, like, so the stuff they turned down, when they could have jumped up.
or listening.
Seeing and listening. The Lions called him and offered him somebody, and Steven was like, "Who is that?" And I mean, it was a pretty decent name, and he was like, "Who?" He's blah blah blah, and they explained who it is. He's like, "Oh, we'll call you back." And Steven just like hangs up the phone and just sits there and keeps watching the draft. Doesn't even tell anyone that somebody called. Doesn't even ask Will who this guy is. And then the guy calls back like 5 minutes later. It's like, "Hey, did you think about that?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, bye." But it was just pretty, like,
how I imagine it.
That, like, A, he didn't even know who the player was, and B, didn't attempt to look it up and see if it might be worth looking into.
I hate being a fan of this team.
Like, that feels like
fireable.
And
if
agree.
You were
yeah,
like a
if
normal job.
If he wasn't a Jones, like, you don't want to.
Maybe Alex would be better.
I thought we uncover every turn over every rock, and we're always looking for everywhere, and just not. And okay, so I think I set it up pretty good. That, like, elsewhere in the audio, he was kind of like, it wasn't a huge name, it wasn't Megatron, but it was a guy I've heard of.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're running an NFL team, you should know
every name.
50 players on every team.
Yeah.
Maybe not all 90, but somewhere close to that. And if not, you should at least follow up afterward.
And sometimes when people call, they are trying to find a match. Like, oh, wait, I know they lack linebacker depth.
Yeah.
Actually, we have these guys. What if we did a little swap? And it might not, it's not the Roy Williams trade or the,
Joey Galloway.
Yeah, it's not earth-shattering, but that's what wins you, right? The little tiny things.
Yeah, and like we've joked about this before, and it's not like I think you have to just work 24/7, 365. But I mean, dude, when I saw him in Montana, I'm like, shouldn't you be at work or something? Like, we were at a music festival, and he was just like, I don't know. He was doing what you thought he was doing. He was just housing Brown. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I feel like if you have like one of these like extremely high profile jobs in the summer, you should just be like nose to the grindstone all the time. Now, the flip side of that is like the people who would yell at Romo to like be out front throwing a tire through a football whenever he was like with middle school or on Lake Louisville or whatever. But I don't know. It just seems to me like it's the same thing as always. They're just about a lot more than doing the job. That's really bad, though.
I was surprised that didn't catch more fire and become a big
that's really bad
local public story, because I just –
that's not good.
Maybe just people haven't heard it because,
And now they will on this huge podcast.
That's right.
Well, he goes on, and I think this is the Randy Gregory situation because Steven apparently botched that, right? Where Gregory had a deal with Jerry, and then Jerry handed it to Steven, who got the numbers wrong. You're going to have to walk me through it, Jake. But they had a chance to bring back Randy Gregory 2 years ago. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, what it really came down to was that they wanted to be able to void his contract if he got suspended. And the Broncos were like, no, we'll just pay you. And his agent, said, well.
With his history, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've been suspended a lot. You're probably going to get suspended again.
And similar, DeMarcus Lawrence,
right? The DeMarcus Lawrence one was that Steven told him, hey, we're not restructuring your deal. We're not going to give you more guaranteed money. And either Lawrence went to Jerry or Jerry went to Lawrence and was like, yeah, we definitely are. Like, get Steven on the phone. And they just sidelined Steven. He doesn't have a lot of power. He just talks like he does.
Except that one draft day when Jerry wanted Manziel.
Tackle him over Manziel's draft card.
Yeah, and I think his value of players, I mean, this could all just be public negotiations because he's going to have to get Micah and CD done here in the near future. But this is kind of troubling for me in his just evaluation of how to beat the salary cap.
But the cap has gone up tremendously. So it's, to me, it's not a lot different. It's just, how many guys you're trying to fit in there. And to me, it's about players. We had a situation last year where you end up losing a guy, but you end up getting 4 players rather than what you might have paid 1 player. And, that's the way you have to look at it. Would you rather have, 3 or 4 players for $3 and $4 and $5 million apiece, or 1 player for $20 million? So those are the, things you get into weighing in terms of, where you better off.
I'd rather have the 20 million guy.
Depends on your team, but in general, I would agree.
Dude, every year this happens.
Oh, yeah. I'm just, the only thing I'm surprised by is he didn't mention the pie.
Right, yeah.
The pie is every year. I mean, Jerry and I aren't making any more money.
Right, no, it's...
But you can see the negotiations, right? Micah, we can't really pay you this. And then if anything like that happens, hey, well, I mean, look, we got Durance Armstrong coming in. We re-signed Leighton Vander Esch. Like, you get 11 guys on the field. Don't you want the best 11? As far as talent and not value?
Alex Davis can't be worse. Although they have won 36 games. So how does this work? Like, does he actually have to go? In my mind, I thought that you actually had to go and ejac into a cup. I'm learning it's actually just like a cotton swab.
Yeah.
Which that's disappointing to me.
You thought a DNA test was like a IVF appointment?
Kinda.
Can he do that?
And so with 23andMe, do you think all the guys are doing that in a cup and sending it off?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, are you an idiot?
I guess I thought like it would at least be blood, but not like a swab of your cheek. Like
I mean, they could take a hair, can't they?
Yeah.
To prove paternity? That sounds bad for me.
DNA? Like, I don't know. I know
you can get like a hair drug test, like a follicle test for drug test.
No, but I mean, I'm just thinking of CSI or something. How do they find the Golden State Killer or whatever?
Yeah, hair was left at the crime scene.
Yeah, and we were able to match his DNA.
This all sounds pretty sensible.
23andMe, you're just kind of hammering
constantly.
away.
Order me another one.
And
I want to do 20. They actually send you, a Playboy and a vial.
Yeah.
The clinic needed
some beats, some wireless beats.
Your clinic needed it in 15 minutes, but you're going to ship it across the country for 23andMe.
That's a really good point, Blake. That's a really good point. Dental records, something like is it just like I just saw that they said they were only going to do a cotton like cheek swab. And to me, that doesn't seem like if I'm Jerry, I'm like that feels like a not provable. No.
No, I don't. No,
well, like a lie detector test. Like you can't take that to court and that be 100%, right?
Okay,
Like,
but we've come a long way with DNA technology, dude.
And it's just cotton swab on your cheek. That's it. And you could prove, like, who you're related to.
Like, you could take the if you throw that water bottle away, we could get the crime lab to get your spit off of there. Yeah. Haven't you seen that? Like,
we talked about it with that one,
shows?
like that one bank robber guy. It was like a Gatorade bottle or whatever. But I didn't know that was the same. I thought they had to, like, match that with something else they had from you. Not like match that with.
Well, yeah, if they already have
child.
your DNA on file,
right?
Or yes, if it's the now we have semen at the crime scene, and I got that bottle that you drank from. That does match this.
How did you think they got DNA from women? They swabbing something else?
No.
Why do they call you guys?
Wouldn't you want to be the, like, Frisco?
They got.
Yeah, it was a bad point. Think about, like, the Frisco RN that has to go in and swab Jerry's cheek.
Or in your world,
well, that'd be a lot better than the RN that has to
just
handy. Yeah, get a burst of dust.
Like, will they go to him?
Yes.
When's the last time he's been to a doctor's office?
Right. Does he just have...
I mean, they've got a medical facility at the Star, so I would imagine, like, a lot of the things that he gets done, preventative care and stuff like that, happens in Frisco. But, like, when's the last time he just sat in a waiting room and filled out, like, those laborious forms where you're like, you have all this info already?
When's the last time he flew coach?
Man.
Similar?
Well...
Time period?
Probably before.
Probably 26 years ago.
Yeah, around the time.
Oh yeah, because he was booking a flight with the.
Yeah, in Fayetteville or Little Rock, maybe.
All right, that's great
probably
stuff.
a good ender to Steven.
That's good.
The Dumb Zone.
Topic number 1. What is your position on the role of government in supporting innovation in the field of biotechnology?
Well, Dean, I'm glad that you asked that question.
Actually, I'd like to jump in and take that one, Jimmy, if you don't mind.
I think we're done. Have at it, Hoss.
Recent research has shown that empirical evidence for globalization of corporate innovation is very limited. And as a corollary, the market for technologies is shrinking. As a world leader, it's important for America to provide systematic research grants for our scientists. I believe strongly there will always be a need for us to have a well-articulated innovation policy with emphasis on human resource development. Thank you.
Where'd that come from? What happened? I blacked out.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
Not that far off.
This is so fun here in Athens, Texas. So did you parked out front?
I got a great
Texan.
spot. I did.
Well, you got to watch. It's a 2-hour limit.
Find me.
Okay. Here's the guy with the rich wife.
Oh, my God. Let it go.
Whatever.
I'm hemorrhaging money.
I'm not worried about money. Did you look out? Do you know what Blake's car looks like?
I do. I do, yeah.
Just come over here for a second.
Okay.
I need you to look at it and then walk back.
Okay.
I don't know that you'll be able to stretch. Can you see it? Here, what if I do this?
Yeah, I can see it.
See the blue guy?
Yeah.
What do you see?
Did you back in?
Mm-hmm.
Back in guy, huh? Back in parking guy. All I hear all my life is ridicule. Oh, look at this old man. He backs in just like all the other olds. Or is it all the other brilliants? People.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to believe how fast I'm going to get out of here.
That's what I'm saying.
It's going to be insane. However,
you'll be in Wiley before you know it.
No, I had pulled in the one-way parking lot the wrong way.
I don't want to hear it.
And so if you're going the wrong way, because the parking spots are angled, and so rather than just try to like whip it in there forward.
Don't
I
we have
just
a
drive
guest?
past it
And
back
how many?
in.
It's such a.
It's a tight.
There's a million
there's
parking
huge, There's
spots
a
in
big
there.
I
crowd
thought you and I
today.
had one thing.
Not a lot of spaces
One thing
available.
together.
I had to grab that one.
I already burned the
Welcome.
Apple thing.
Welcome over here.
We can't make fun of him for the Apple thing anymore.
Well, you ruined that.
I did ruin that, but I thought we still had the pull-in forward parking thing together.
Yeah, but I was going the wrong way, and it was just easier to back in. Had a lot of gear with me too.
I'm just
to bring in here.
I'm on my own on everything now.
Oh,
I talk you up in the Dallas Observer, and this is what I get.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
are we doing a monthly business review for our show?
Oh yeah.
Is that the thing I was supposed to remind you, or?
No, there was something else.
I mean, we don't have to do it today.
Okay.
I think he's happy with
It doesn't sound like he's exactly prepared for that. So yeah,
probably shouldn't.
I feel like yesterday you were so gung ho.
The Texan,
I have so much audio.
Athens.com. Come get married here.
Okay.
I'm going to.
Now?
Oh, not
next,
today, but the second one will
when
definitely.
you renew your vows? What do you think of people who do that? You
Jake
think
is
they're awesome?
definitely going to have to do that at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely know people who have done it, and it's always a little bit suspicious.
Is it like he cheated on her?
Could go both ways. I empower women.
Yeah, but I don't think that'd be the answer for, like, if your wife cheated on you, it wouldn't be like,
let's
oh, yeah.
renew our vows.
Yeah, like, let's really make sure the world knows that we are.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't know. I just really like this place is what I'm saying, Dan.
It is great. Let's move here now.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, by the way, congrats on the Dallas Observer article about you.
What?
Yesterday it dropped. Kelly Dearmore.
Yeah, no, we referenced it less than 2 minutes ago.
You did?
Yeah. You guys all got to see this in person,
Everybody
huh?
else heard it?
Yeah, no, we
What'd you
brought
say?
up us complimenting Blake in the Dallas Observer no less than 2 or 3 minutes ago, yeah.
Like since the break?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Like right after back-in parking.
You guys see how this works? Yeah. Yeah.
How was it? How did I react?
You did.
And
you really
now
didn't.
we understand why.
Yeah. You were not paying attention.
I was just kind of thinking about, did we read quotes from that? Because I just thought there was one funny one.
Which was what?
Probably his.
Yeah, it was you.
Which was what?
I don't know. You were all like, yeah, we told him to F off. And
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we just kind of said we disagreed. We said.
Yeah, I feel like those are the same thing.
He did have to clear up. McDowell, a little more diplomatic, said.
Just wanted to put on a white glove and go duel.
That's on my on our show's headstone or whatever, you know.
Dan McDowell, a little bit more diplomatic.
A little bit more, but,
Yeah.
you know.
No, I mean, I feel like if you wanna mock it, you can. But I also think there were plenty of times where you and I were using the terms "fuck off" in private together.
Oh my! Perhaps there was.
Yeah.
But of course, my public persona is a 180 from what you see when you get behind closed doors. That's why you want to schedule one of these remotes.
That's right.
Because you will see me unleashed, brother. Like during breaks.
Oh yeah.
Was
no, I mean
was off the chain.
It
Blake.
was it's obviously weird. Like I feel like every single time you get interviewed, you're like, why did I agree to do this? Nothing ever comes off the way that you want it to.
Yeah, you know what?
And
So
like
Kelly
in print,
Dearmore,
and he's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
And
we've known him a long
for
time.
Yeah,
I wanted to call him over the weekend, and then I thought I'd be like, doesn't like Adam Schefter would call somebody
like
or
somebody's
somebody,
agent or
they call him
Yeah.
like, no, can you shape this? Because afterwards, I'm like, I just don't. I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to toot our own horn, and I don't want to.
You've made that very clear.
I'm trying not to burn a bridge. Like obviously, they don't care about the bridge.
Yeah.
But I'm just. I when I'm in the middle of stuff, like I've referenced Dayton recently, or maybe it's tomorrow. I don't know when. But I worked in Dayton for a guy that it really drove me nuts, and I had to write, a journal about it, and it just and I always kind of vowed in this guy, I'm going to MF him when I leave, and I'm going to, prove to the – and then it was like, okay, well, that's the past. And I just don't want to I don't care. Whatever. I just want to go my own way and do my thing and don't want them effing with me, and why do I need to F with them? And that's what I feel about this whole situation too.
Yeah, and I think just like from a personal standpoint, as I've gotten older, it's been really great. I'm not trying to like butter you up here, but it's been great for me just to know you, because you're way more like, let's just let stuff go. You know me. Like, I want to come in and slap somebody.
Yeah, let's go at it.
Like, that's the way that I feel like I don't want to say raised, but like I'm by nature a very aggressive person.
Like, let's handle this head on.
Yeah, and I feel like being around you,
like, passive aggressively, let's handle it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Being around you
just make a little snide comment now and again.
Every now and then, yeah. For such a large portion of my adult life has helped me on that front. But at the same time,
he did turn you into cat guy.
He did turn me into cat guy. That's right. But at the same time, I mean, I don't mind saying, like, I am bothered by how some of this has been handled, and not by us. So I don't feel like we have to not say that anymore if we think it.
Yeah, no.
So that is what it is.
I think we should say whatever we want, and maybe it's, maybe you don't want to say. Maybe I don't want to say as much, but it doesn't mean I don't want you to.
Yeah, and trust me, I'm not saying 80% of what I'd like to. But here we are.
Yeah,
everyone's doing good.
It was a weird,
except us.
Right. No, I mean, it was even a weird weekend just because it was, for those very few who don't know that we used to work for the Ticket in Dallas, and it was their big celebration every year. It's Ticket Stock Weekend, and it was their 30th anniversary. Yeah. They just went through that as well, had a big show. And, it was just weird to not – I mean, Blake said it in that article. Like,
he went way harder than I did.
Yeah, trying to erase you guys. I don't really think that's the case. I personally think.
I do.
I kind of think it's like it's so fresh and early. I mean, I would just hope as time goes that we can all. I mean, I already get along with like all the people there.
Of course.
And so maybe it's just the whole place as an entity as a whole, but everything is still fresh. And, I mean, it makes it feel like why would anybody be mad at us, really? We, like, we're not we just didn't come to an agreement. Like, why we are not actively – I didn't sue anyone. I was fending off a lawsuit.
Correct.
I think we bent over backwards trying to show, look, number one, I don't even know if we can or not, but we are not going to go after any sponsors for the 6-month period. We're not going to, you know what? We're even going to go behind a paywall.
Yep.
That's how much we feel. We do not want to affect the revenue or the ratings of the place we used to work because I care deeply about all the guys that are still there. And so I want life to go on well for them, and I just hope that it does for us. We're trying to, make something happen here. So that's the only – it's more of a little disappointment, kind of. I mean, I don't expect them to have a wing for us at the
McDowell.
At Ticket Stock or anything, or invite us over. Possibly in the future. I don't know.
I wouldn't count on that.
But, I mean, guys have left and gone on to do other things. And I think you've mentioned this before, like Mark Elfenbein, who is a great dude, left the station and went on to directly compete with me, with Bob and Dan. You weren't on the show yet, right?
No.
Might have been right before that.
Yeah, I was about to be added as your board op right around that time.
Because, it's not like we've only worked together for 3 years. We worked together for like 15 years. So, and then, is welcomed back into the fold eventually when he was summarily dismissed by the Bob and Dan juggernaut at the time.
just routed.
I mean, who could go up against that besides just about everybody? All right. I didn't mean to have that talk even.
I was a little bit surprised that you wanted to, but it's totally fine with me.
You never know what's going to happen with these two wild cards.
You just never know. I just think that the main thing for me is that there are generations of new memories that are alive again here in Athens, Texas because of the Texan.
Yes.
In Athens, Texas.
The Texan, kind of the epicenter of maybe the heartbeat.
It's got to be the heartbeat.
The nerve center.
The nerve center. That's right.
Like what happens here stays here.
That's right.
Or something. I'm trying to figure stuff out.
No, that works.
You want to call our guest?
Sure.
See if we can. So, do you want to set this up?
Yeah. So, while the dial tone is going, or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to talk over the beep so they can't track the phone number.
So we got an email from a guy. You may remember him. Speaking of our former employer, he was a valedictorian at his high school, and he recited the My Pig speech. Oops. That's too many numbers. His name is Easton, and he emailed us and was like, hey, here's a news story about my parents. They were involved in a helicopter crash in Kauai, and they lived.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Is this Easton Wolfe's dad?
Indeed. This is, I am the father, the proud father of the valedictorian pig boy.
The My Pig kid. This is, it's not Easton Wolfe. What's your name, sir?
Troy.
So not, I thought it was Winston.
No.
This is Troy Wolfe. You know Winston Wolfe?
No, you brought this up before. I feel like I should know the punchline, but I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Well, when you figure it out, just know that as the pilot was landing the helicopter, there was a Winston Wolfe tie-in of like, let's not get ahead of ourselves about how this is going to go well. So, Troy, tell us, what have your last 4 or 5 days been like?
Oh, really? It's honestly been the last probably 48 hours. We just flew back, got into DFW today, so my days are getting confused a little bit. But I guess this was Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday afternoon in Hawaii is when all this happens, and it's been crazy. We were scheduled to fly home today anyway, so it worked out good because I wouldn't think it'd be much of a vacation if this happened like on day 2 and we had 4 or 5 days left. It'd be kind of a bummer.
Yeah, you don't just go lay by the pool after falling out of the sky.
No, you don't. So it worked out pretty good, and we were going to do some things. Sometimes flights don't leave Hawaii until late in the evening, so you can fly overnight. And so we kind of had a plan after the helicopter ride to do some things in the town that day and do some exploring, but we just decided to chill instead.
So what exactly happened?
Well, so as you get old in life, Dan, you try to find things that are adventurous, that don't get you motion sickness. And wife and I have kind of just said, we're not doing boat stuff anymore. We can't really handle the motion, but, let's try the helicopter. We think that would be great. And
Let me just say off the bat, interesting decision. I would think that would, hey, I don't want to go on a boat.
Boat is worse than helicopter.
Really?
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, I just had the vision of a helicopter. Doesn't feel...
You've been on one, though, right?
Yeah, I was in Kauai.
Oh, that's right.
In fact, we did
Mine was Big Island, but yeah.
A little tour of whatever, probably a similar tour that you went on.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the same thing, Dan. I mean, I thought the helicopter would be a little more consistent as far as, flight path. And I think what gets you in trouble on the water is just the back and forth and, the different movements and things like that. But
I just don't hear a lot of you don't see any news story about, this guy died on a boat. As much, I don't think, as maybe a helicopter or a small plane,
That's true. I was just playing the odds, though, you know?
Okay.
So, actually, it's weird. I think about you guys a lot on vacations, and so we just passed the Jurassic Park waterfall, and you know, I thought of as he's showing it to us, and the music's going off in my head, and I'm thinking about Jake crying. Seriously, I did, and it was beautiful. But you think about things like that, and we kind of saw that. We're about 30 minutes into the trip.
I'm gonna cry.
And Dan, you said you've been on it. You know, that whole west side of Kauai, you can't really get to except by boat or helicopter. And we kind of took a turn to the right to go up the west coastline of Kauai, and we started smelling something that was different. And I kind of just thought it was, you know, just because we changed directions, it might have been a different, you know, way the wind was blowing or whatever. Didn't really think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, the pilot kind of gets a little bit lower, and I hear him say, "We're going to try to land." And 5 seconds after that, there was just a kind of and the engine lets loose and just lets go, and we just start kind of free falling.
Okay, so what's going through your head?
You know, honestly, I didn't really know at the time what was going on because my wife was in the front. She's in the front middle, so they put you in these helicopters based on height and weight. And so I didn't really know what was going on there. She knew more than I did because she could read the body language of the pilot and all that stuff. And I couldn't really see out front of me. I could see out the sides. By the way, this helicopter has no doors, by the way.
Jeez.
And so we're kind of headed into a cliff when I heard the pop. And honestly, I thought about Kobe.
For real?
And
like Kobe actually popped through your head?
He actually did. Not that this is the way it's going to go down. Like, this is pretty similar. But then he kind of veered back to the right, and I don't know a whole lot about helicopter aerodynamics or engineering or how that works, but I guess.
Well, we'll help you out there, Troy.
We're on top of it.
Yeah. What do you need?
Well, it auto rotates. You know, when the engine lets go and the engine stops turning the blade, I would think gravity and air would keep moving the rotor. Maybe, Jerry, I don't know, but he did have some control over the helicopter, probably limited control, but then we crashed on a beach, and he did a great job, salvaging what we could, obviously.
So what was left of the helicopter? Like, when you emerge from the wreckage, what does it look like? Is it destroyed?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's totaled. It's just a kind of a wadded up piece.
This is a really dumb,
I'll send you some pictures.
Like Scooby-Doo type question, but are you not worried about the blade?
No, I tell you what I was worried about though, Jake, because at that time when we got out, by the time we get out of there, it felt like a minute or two to get out, which probably was only 30 seconds. You know how that stuff goes. And everything was stopped, and what I was worried about was, like it blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens in movies and stuff, right?
Sure.
And so the pilot assured us that he cut the fuel line off or whatever, however you do that stuff. But no, the blade didn't enter my mind. Now the tail rotor was probably 50 or 70 feet in front of us as far as the crash site goes. But it's just right. It's in a beach between, I know, Dan, you said you've been out there. That's all just huge peaks on that coastline. And he set it down just on a beach, between two huge peaks.
I'm sorry.
Were there people on the beach that were responding to you?
No. You can't even. Yeah.
You can't get. Actually, I found out later it's the beach that where, I don't know. I know Blake hadn't watched this, but the James Bond movie, I think it's Man with the Golden Gun. They shot a scene there, but no, it's so remote. I mean, the only way to that beach is either boat or helicopter.
And you said put it down. I mean, what was the impact like?
I mean,
did you land like a car crash or I don't know. I guess how tragic or how? Go ahead.
Well, he landed on the bottom of the helicopter. I don't know. I don't know what you call that. The way a helicopter should land, but he's kind of coming in. He's not coming straight down. He's coming in more like an airplane, as far as with a little bit of forward momentum. And so when it hit the sand,
it skidded.
The left side of it dug in, and it just kind of rolled.
Damn.
And those cabs, I guess, are made to where almost like an F1 car or whatever, just kind of like a roll cage. And so we were all pretty well protected inside that, except for the female passenger that's still in the hospital. But other than that.
Oh, dear.
What was the pilot's demeanor like?
He was unbelievably calm and awesome.
I think all those guys are almost all ex-military.
Probably so. And, he was kind of debriefing afterwards. I know they practiced some of that auto rotation stuff. Obviously not in those conditions, but he was extremely calm. And, I mean, without him, if he made a decision to – he did say that there was a secluded beach 3 miles away that he thought about trying to land to. If he tried to go to that, I don't think we make it, because we were just at the right height to where he was able to get it to our beach pretty safely.
So if it's not a beach,
it's the water.
It's the cliff or the water.
Okay, water. Would you be alive? Cliff, perhaps not.
No, cliff. I think we're done. Yeah, and you're trapped in your seatbelt. Water, I don't know. I don't think so.
So you said there's no doors. So was you were in the middle in the back?
No, there were 5 total. So you got the pilot and 4 passengers. Pilot is front left.
Oh, okay.
My wife is in the middle, and then the female passenger that's still in the hospital, she's front right. And I was behind her in back right, and then her boyfriend was back left.
Okay.
So do they have any sort of, I don't know, helicopter chasing lawyers that can get you to cash in and bro down? And
I don't know, Jake. I don't know. I'm not
we
that
know
kind
some.
of person.
We know some lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm sure that there will be something coming out of this, especially, the girl that's still in the hospital in Kauai. She's, going to have some rehab time and miss work and all that. So I'm sure there'll be some damages come out of there. But as far as Shannon and I are concerned, we just have some bumps and bruises and just lucky to be alive and get back to town.
Was she injured because like you said, there's no doors, and then it kind of landed on the side? Did she take the brunt of that?
The girl that's still in the hospital, yes, she did. Now, my wife was in the middle, and she was fine. But, yeah, the girl that was on the front right, where pretty much the helicopter came to a stop, she was the one that was injured.
So have you asked your wife, when you first got seated, was she like, oh, that sucks.
Yes.
She got the open door. She got the better seat.
She was a little perturbed, but she wasn't getting the good videos that Katie was getting on the other side.
Yeah.
And I saw her at one point. I saw my wife stop videoing, and I kind of thought she might be getting motion sickness a little bit, but she just said she was kind of getting pissed that she wasn't getting good videos, so she just kind of stopped and took in the view.
Jeez.
Did you get a refund?
Maybe a coconut shrimp voucher or something?
Did you go to Yelp to express your displeasure?
Well, so they took us to the ER, which is fine. We probably needed to get checked out because we were supposed to fly out the next day, and we wanted to make sure we were fit to fly and everything. And so it's funny, I was checking my phone and I saw the email come through where they refunded the trip, and I'm like, oh, at least I didn't have to ask. And then I think an email came through like later that evening or something as far as a trip recommendation or putting it on Yelp or whatever. And so probably don't want me doing that.
They're asking for 5 stars?
2-star. Not one.
I would give him 2 just for the pilot because he saved our life for sure.
Yeah, 1 star is you are at a point where you can't make that review. I think.
Correct. I think 2 is warranted because just the pilot was so good.
He's your Sully.
He is. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
But I think with Sully, Dan, I think a lot of pilots could have done that. I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Many helicopter pilots could do this one.
Yeah. Well, you are your subscribers, so we're very glad. Although, had you not survived,
auto renewing.
Yeah. Damn.
Well, his account would have closed at some point.
At some point, but
no.
the main thing is, that we retained $7 a month.
Yeah, I'm glad
when that pilot landed the bird.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win for everybody, I think.
Yeah. Now that we've had you on too, you might be like, okay, I'll definitely keep subscribing to these guys. Maybe that's the key for us. We just need to have everybody on as
almost
a guest.
die. Oh.
Yeah. No. We just
something like that. I did think at one time too that after the crash, and we were because we had to wait about 2 hours for them to come get us. I did think that because there's no cell phone or anything, I did wonder if we would have died, like would I have been the most famous one on there? That did come to my head.
That's the Dan McDowell way.
Based on being my pig kid's dad?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. And then also another difficult part is how do you think we got back to the airport?
No.
We had to get on another helicopter.
No boats?
No, Jake. That west side of that island, I mean, it's like tidal waves and stuff over there. I'm not getting on a boat.
Are you demanding the middle seat?
Oh, my God.
No, but I did think, you know what? I might as well do this.
What are the chances?
Odds
It's the classic. Who were we talking about yesterday? Who had the reverse Nate Newton? Hollywood Henderson?
We're going to talk about that tomorrow.
Oh, sorry. Jesus.
We recorded a show yesterday, Troy. It's throwing us all off.
So, Troy, we often hear about, makeup relations, or maybe you got divorced.
Oh, yeah, 9/11.
And traumatic experience. Is there like some sort of we survived a helicopter crash love that you want to tell us about?
Boy, that's a phenomenal question, Blake.
No, I mean, what do you mean, Blake? Like, I don't understand the question.
Did you guys have awesome sex that night? That's what Blake is saying.
Oh.
Yeah, we just went through this together. We've heard about 9/11 babies, like, we just had a traumatic experience together. Let's do it.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, not yet. That all happened before. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary, so.
Oh, so we don't have sex.
All the banging was done before.
Sorry, Easton.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, Easton.
Banging.
Easton knows.
But no,
Easton has heard. Easton has lied in bed with his hands over his ears.
We were too sore to do anything. We just kind of sat there and got a pizza and looked around.
Yeah, that sounds like my anniversary.
Actually sounds like every day.
Well, which is every day and my anniversary. The woman in the hospital, though, what were her like? You have to wait 2 hours. Is she got a bone sticking out of her skin? What's going on?
No, she ended up having I think 2 fractured vertebrae, I think. And but she couldn't. She was laying down on the beach, and my wife was pretty much mother henning her because she was pretty scared. She's kind of in her 20s and, with her boyfriend, didn't really have any family there. And so she was a little anxious. And so my wife did a wonderful job taking care of her. But no, she was,
you're like, good.
She really couldn't move her lower body. So
where's the bruise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that you're not dead.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.
Yeah. You ever going to do one of those again?
No, probably not. You know, out where we live, hunting hogs in helicopter, that's real big, and I've often wanted to do that, but I don't think I'll do that again.
Get the AR?
No, helicopter, no more.
I'll tell you what, though.
I have kind of always wanted to do that.
Oh, Jake, I got a ranch. Come out and shoot it.
An AR?
From a helicopter, dude?
Yeah.
Like, how close are you going to get to feeling like Rambo?
Right. I was thinking...
The hanging out of the helicopter part, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, were you upset, let's say, that you weren't the only survivor?
Jeez. He's got a wife.
Oh, yeah, she might hear this. Maybe we don't...
Yeah, she's sitting right here next to me.
We'll ask you next week.
Speak to that. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Bruce Willis, though, the movie Unbreakable? That's it.
No.
I would feel like a badass if I were you.
Yeah, you could. I mean,
You
roll
could do
the dice
anything.
today.
Yeah, go parachute jump without a parachute type thing. You know, all that stuff. Or what do you call that?
Yeah, I'm pretty old for that stuff.
What would you
man.
say? Parachute jump without a parachute doesn't make sense. Skydive without a parachute.
No, skydive. Yeah.
I have trouble with words there, Troy.
I do too, Dan.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse as it gets older.
Yeah. Well. Well, thanks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for the story. Thanks for having that happen to you to
Thanks for the
entertain
subby.
us.
Thanks for being alive.
Yeah.
Nope. Anytime, guys. Love you guys.
What do you want to promote?
Can I get a closing comment?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Give us your final thoughts.
Closing remark.
Can we get like tractor trailers and trucks out of the text express lane, the text dot lanes?
That is a worthy cause. I would agree with you on that.
I mean, it's unbelievable, man. They're screwing the whole thing up. I'm paying this premium.
You know why they're in there, right?
For the cash, yeah, you got to follow the money, right? Because they're charging them probably double.
Those drivers don't have to pay for that. So yeah, they're on every tollway and every express lane.
How did this guy just come in with a transportation-related hot opinion to walk off?
Because he just
died 2 days ago.
He just drove home
from the airport or something,
and he's stuck behind someone right now, and that's what he's bitching about.
No, I'm actually in Mineral Wells, driving back home. Blake, what is the Mineral Wells mascot?
Oh man, Rams.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
You're headed to Graham, right?
Not miss.
Yeah, Graham. So what's Graham?
Steers.
Okay. What are the girls called?
Oh.
Didn't we just do this?
Certainly not the cows. That was a different.
That was Bridgeport.
No.
Oh. Is it?
Not
It's not the
heifers
lady
either.
steer, is it?
No.
The queers.
Okay. Yep. That was awesome.
Good guess. Lady Blues.
Okay. Yeah, that's better than sissies.
Yeah, I don't-
Sissies.
Yeah, it's better than sissies.
Cues.
Better than sissies.
What about the graham crackers? No.
Ooh, yeah.
I'll bet the demographics would work out there.
That's probably on par, I would guess.
Yeah.
Well, this has been riveting. Troy.
Man.
Just tell us about the helicopter crash sex, would you?
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Send us an
already
email
asked.
later.
Yeah.
We'll
All right, man.
reconvene at a later date.
All right. Good talking to you. Say hi to Winston or Easton or whatever kid you want to say hi to for us.
Will do. And he's at University of Alabama and listens to you guys all the time. So.
All right. Roll
guys.
Tide. All right. See you, man.
Roll Tide. See ya. Bye.
That's Troy Wolfe. That's good stuff.
That was awesome.
What if you had a kid who was a valedictorian? Would you feel like proud or like, boy, I really underachieved?
Yeah, like, gosh, this is in me somewhere.
But I just
effed
it all up. Yeah.
See, I can't even answer that. I was so far from having a kid who was evaluated.
Your kids are pretty successful, though. I mean, a hell of a lot more successful than, at this stage, you.
Yeah, for sure. But
I mean, I would even say, I look at, like, my 5-year-old now, and I'm like, you're outpacing me for what I was at, like, 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
you take the pride and not the jealousy.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm yet jealous of my kids at this point.
Give it time.
How long have we been going, Blake, Jake? Who are you?
About 150.
It's probably time then, huh?
Hit it.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
We're leaving so much on the table today.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has sued Pornhub's parent company for allegedly violating state law by failing to implement age verification measures to ensure that children cannot access the adults-only site.
I agree that they have not done that.
You can confirm?
I believe so, because there are sites that you'll just have to click. It's silly.
It is really silly.
Because you don't really do anything.
And
you just click a button. It says, are you 18? Yes or no?
Yeah, and the ones that are really ridiculous are, it's not like I'm going to a bunch of, like, beer and liquor websites, but when I used to have to get copy points for, in our former employer, you would go there and it's like, enter your birthday.
I did that on a tobacco. I bought chew on through the mail a couple times, and I thought that would be cheaper, and it wasn't.
What do you want a trivia question? I mean,
yeah, what, like the click all the stop signs? I don't know, but it does make me think of the time that I went to get a fake ID at Vicon Village. And they were like, all right, so you want an Oklahoma ID? I'm like, yeah, this is the one I've heard is the easiest one to get by with. And they were like, fill out your address. And I wrote Brown Trail, Bedford, Texas. They're like, you want me to put Bedford, Texas on an Oklahoma ID? I'm like,
How old were you? Obviously not old enough to.
No, 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then you put down 123 Main Street.
Yeah, Oklahoma Avenue.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What do you think about people that get fired up, like the porn industry itself? Like, we don't think you should have to have age verification. I mean, you do to drink, you do to stuff, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely should. I don't know how they do it,
But I mean, I also think that for guns and, driving, you have to verify and get a license for a lot of things. I don't know about a license to porn, but at least to prove you're 18, what's wrong with that? Okay.
No, I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
You're probably fighting a losing battle, just like you are with all the other things you just mentioned, right? I mean, probably everybody here who wanted to could find alcohol before they were 21. You could find somebody that could get you a dip or something like that. But no, I do think that as sex positive as I am, I don't think it was great that I had unfiltered access to internet porno when I was 16.
Right.
And that was not like because it was being encouraged by any means. It was just that it was the internet. And it was like, well, I'm in shop class. Let's hop on here with no firewall.
And that was then.
Yeah, now.
I was having
to wait an entire first period to see half a boob.
How easily available it is now. Which then makes, this is stuff you got to deal with.
Oh, I know, dude.
Your kid, first of all, I feel like, every year
progressively.
It's younger and younger. Like, oh, no, my 6-year-old needs a cell phone because I need to be able to find him or something or whatever.
No, I'm terrified, man.
Because I can't remember how long we waited with our girls, but
I think
teenage.
I got a phone when I got a car.
Okay, I think our girls might have been 13.
But it was also this is a Nokia 5150 brick.
Right, no.
It was,
it's the world of the iPhone.
I
had
now Snake or whatever
But
on
now
there.
they even have, he probably has a Play iPad or a phone or something similar.
He doesn't, but she has like a tablet. It's not connected to the internet. But, it has like ABC mouse on it and a couple of other.
But it's grooming you. It's getting you ready for this is what you're going to be using.
Yeah, and I've somewhat given up the ghost on that a little bit because that's just what you're going to use for work going forward.
Yeah.
And school.
And school. So on one hand, you're like, oh, okay, I don't want my kid having this thing in its hand all the time. But on the other, you're like, well, they're going to have it in their hand for the rest of their life.
Well, that's why you got to get her a VR headset now.
I'm not going to lie to you, dude.
She'll be wearing one of those.
That terrifies me.
Or is it Google or Apple? Who has the thing people are walking around and they're...
It's Apple, the Vision Quest thing?
Yeah.
Or not Vision Quest. That's South Park.
People are putting out videos of
I don't remember
how they're on the subway.
The Apple Vision thing.
Opening, they got 5 windows open and they're
Yeah.
doing this and that.
It feels like we're not that far away from that being issued by your school.
Yeah.
Like when my 1-year-old is in high school, well, they just issue him a headset. They're just like, just work on this all day. In the same way that they issue, a notebook, a Acer type computer today, because the cost will obviously inevitably come down. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm
freaked out.
Second daughter the first one didn't fall into that, but the second one got a iPad
Meta
or something. It wasn't an iPad.
At school.
But it was It was a school issued tablet.
Anyways, Ken Paxton is suing Pornhub.
Okay, cool.
That was kind of the start of that story. A booking possibly for Blake as Matthew McConaughey has a new children's book.
Hey.
No.
That was done by Dr. Phil's son.
We know.
You guys should book him, Kelly. He does music. He lives in Texas. Would you want to come down to see Dr. Phil's son playing some tunes?
No.
Oh, well, I will.
So he read this book, did McConaughey, to children at St. Jude's Hospital earlier this month. And I got to be honest, I feel like that's his lane.
What?
Like, I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but was anybody ever created more to just read to children than Matthew McConaughey?
Well, we've heard him doing Baby Longhorn.
Baby Longhorn. I feel like whenever and this kind of dovetails with something that we said tomorrow.
Yeah.
With, like, how cool my mom was about charity and stuff like that. I don't love bringing this up, but when I did used to, and I did not get a DUI, I did not have community service, but I used to go read to kids at a school. I don't really feel like I have the affect for it.
Yeah, you're too,
kind of an asshole.
In your face. Yeah. He's calming.
So soothing and just.
The University of Texas Longhorns. A great team to root for, a great school to go to. A beautiful city. Colorado River weaves its way through there. It's the state's capital.
This is just him, the outtakes, I think.
Yeah.
So, enjoy Baby Longhorn. And remember, hook 'em horns.
I mean...
Boom, I think we got all that. I'm going to go to outro.
Yeah.
Hey.
Just perfect.
Yeah.
Just perfect. Like, that's AI kid reading.
Yeah.
Couldn't come up with anything better. Yeah, I think you know what? I may actually have to do this for the baby boy.
What?
Buy the book, buy the audiobook.
Does your boy listen to audiobooks? Is that reading a book for him? If you're teaching him to read?
Yeah, he's not blind, so I don't know if it counts or not.
Okay.
And then I know we talked about this earlier with Sarah, and then with my my supreme Maury Povich mistake about Jerry, but like
we didn't talk to Sarah tomorrow.
That was today.
Golly.
No, things we did earlier today.
I can't believe they're actually making Jerry take a paternity test.
Again, I will believe it when I see it. I feel like they're going to somehow delay it, like he'll never actually do it. But a judge did say he had to.
Do you think she'll ever be featured on television at a Cowboys game?
No. But I think she wants a piece of that pie.
Do you remember?
Like it's how many billion?
Oh,
is he worth 10?
I mean, who knows? Probably a lot more than what's listed.
Because there's probably is a monetary reason. Like, I just want to know who my dad is. Okay, but if he dies,
and
his estate is split up, there's probably some kind of a law that says yes, it's between your whatever children. I don't know,
and I really
Maybe
don't.
not.
I don't know that you can properly understand how insane it is that this person and her mother were featured on a reality television show about being rich in Dallas. They were living in Highland Park.
And the reason they're rich
is because she had sex with Jerry Jones.
Right, because Jerry pays her a healthy,
And
stipend
if you recall,
or
I mainlined all 9 of those episodes, and everyone would ask him, where did you get your money? And they never had a good answer. Trust.
Which is true.
We had some money left to us. But she would never say how or why.
Right.
And it feels like the sort of thing that probably a lot of people in Dallas have known about for a long time. And that, I think, is what Sarah's saying when she's like, there's probably a lot more.
Well, that
a lot of people have known about for a long time.
When the story first broke, how many did we hear from?
At least
we were sent
at
pictures.
least one, if not two other. Yeah.
Pictures of her at her 16th birthday party with the brand new Range Rover.
Yeah. And then my last story here is also somewhat football related. We've talked about this a couple times. The Chiefsaholic, the Kansas City Chiefs super fan. Do you know who this guy is? Can you conjure up? He looks like this. Okay, he wears a wolf.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't make sense. Why is he a wolf?
None. You would rather him just kind of feather it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So his name is Xavier Babidar. He would wear a werewolf costume to Chiefs games. And he had a crazy, crazy situation towards the end of last season where on the way to a game, he committed multiple bank robberies.
Whoa.
And these were not his first bank robberies.
Wait. Banks aren't open on Sunday.
I think he was probably headed down on Saturday. Or headed up, whatever. But he was traveling to Kansas City.
Well, yeah, but I think he hit a bank in Tulsa,
Oklahoma,
and he was at the Texans game that weekend.
So it's I need some money for the weekend?
I don't know, but they say that he
wasn't wearing the whole wolf thing, was he?
I don't think so.
That'd
He
be easy to catch
did at least 7 states, hundreds of thousands of dollars in stolen cash, using it to gamble online and then at casinos. So he was living.
Damn.
He was living life. And while this was going on, they were still showing him on games, in his werewolf costume. He was sentenced yesterday up to 50 years without parole.
Wow.
However, the case is not done because, as you pointed out, Dan, you can always appeal.
Is that excessive?
It feels like it. And this is his lawyer, okay? His lawyer yesterday afternoon out front at a courthouse.
On the steps. It was perfect.
On the steps.
It was perfect.
Just walks out like it's the Supreme Court and really, really leans into the football theme.
From the beginning of this case, folks, the government has been blitzing.
Okay, well, I think you can see right there that we're already...
and this guy,
we're already in for a bit of a ride.
He looks like a lawyer.
Oh yeah, dork. This guy's never put a helmet on in his life.
He Googled football terms. How can I work these in?
Yeah,
he's
like me with the golf book.
Yeah, he doesn't know what any of this means.
Yeah.
From the beginning of this case, folks, the government has been blitzing, and Xavier's pocket was collapsing. But today, Xavier stepped into the pressure. He took responsibility for his actions.
He pled guilty.
Okay.
He stood up in court, humble and repentant, and admitted.
By the way, as you pointed out earlier, he does have a little bit of Greg Olson there.
Repentant.
Repentant.
He stood up in court, humble and repentant, and admitted what he had done. Now, if I know anything about Xavier, and if the Chiefs Kingdom knows anything about Chiefsaholic, we know...
Do you think... Do you think you're in good shape if your attorney starts referencing your fan name, like to the press, and starts referencing Chiefs Kingdom?
The good reputation that Chiefsaholic...
The Chiefsaholic that you know.
Right, would never.
And if the Chiefs Kingdom knows anything about Chiefsaholic, we know that he doesn't give up.
Oh.
We know that if he stumbled and he fell, he didn't let his knee touch the ground.
There's more, but I feel like that is...
I think we need to hear more.
So we need the instant replay.
Right.
We're sending it upstairs
He rolled
for further
over the back
review.
of somebody.
We have...
Yeah. Just kept going.
The call was against us, but we threw the red flag.
Right.
And they're going to look at this back in New York.
Indisputable.
I'd like to bring in Mike Pereira. Mike.
Yeah, Pereira. Blandino just Skypes in.
Yeah.
This is just so contrived.
James Territory just agrees with the judge.
I agree with you right there.
Yeah.
And he fell. He didn't let his knee touch the ground. And that's because he's capable of doing a great thing. And he knows that there's still hope. We still have a lot of work to do on his case, but Xavier wants everyone to know
He has
that
a
he
funny
loves
cadence.
the Chiefs Kingdom. He loves Kansas City, and he hopes that you'll rally to his support.
What does that
Thank
mean?
you, and God bless.
Yeah, I don't know. He pled guilty.
Yeah, what is the people...
You robbed 10 banks. And you pled guilty, and now he's like, we just need Chiefs Kingdom to rally to Chiefsaholic support.
That's great.
Because he's being blitzed right now by an unruly district attorney who's coming off the edge. There's your news.
The Dumb Zone News.
Why did you want to do that to me?
And subscribe.
Because somebody requested it earlier.
I would never do that to you. You know what? Put this in our notes so that we separate this part. Because we've been having a little fun with the time shifting. Yesterday we recorded one that we're going to air Friday. The reason that we are airing something different Friday is because tomorrow, it is no day off. We will actually be recording our Lawyers Roundtable. So all the lawyers who worked with us as we tried to fight that oppressive thumb of the man that was smushing us down. I know a lot of people are interested in, kind of hearing the story from their perspective and blow by blow and all that kind of stuff of the whole court case of last summer. The case of the century.
That's what they're calling it.
Some called it. And
Yeah.
they say the 21st century.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact. Yeah. So, Blake, we do have from what I understand, the Reddit page has put up a little thread, and you could actually have some questions in there. And we'll kind of sift through that and see if any of them are worthy of posing to the lawyers tomorrow. But Blake has set something up as well in a new world that the olds like us have no idea about.
Discord. And I don't want to pretend like I know anything. We just know a lot of people.
Because you were against it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, no, not another thing.
I know, and
we do put a lot on his plate.
And no, that's not why. I agree with Jake that anytime I've tried...
I only say stuff like that so I can be mean to him later.
Yeah.
I've tried to dabble in Discord before for different projects, and it just seems so overwhelming. Like there's so many what they call channels on the left side. Then there's just a million people just...
He's old now.
Didn't somebody set up a channel for a thing for us, and you said on that left side there's like a place to put your 9/11 memorial pictures?
Yeah, and so I've discovered...
What's our thing called? Like, how do I get there?
See, like I still don't quite know yet.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we shouldn't have done this today then.
No, because there's a neat thing. So if you are a Patreon subscriber, you can somehow get to our Dumb Zone Discord. I'll tweet out a link. There are ways to get to it. But if you are a subscriber, you do have access to the Dumb Zone Discord. And, yeah, there is a channel over here called 9/11 Memorials where somebody says there's one in Brookfield, Colorado that has a piece of a beam somehow.
Sure.
But there are just different channels where our subscribers can chat. And one of them is called Q&A. And so I asked people to put lawyer questions there, and we've gotten a lot of good ones here. But our Dumb Zone Discord is just a cool place for our subscribers to hang out and chat. And if you're a Discord person and you want to join, then we recommend it. And maybe this is a tool that we use in the future where we could broadcast live on Discord or we could host AMAs or whatever. But I think this will be something that we could utilize going forward. And in this case, if you have a question for the lawyers, you can go to our Dumb Zone Reddit or this Dumb Zone Discord.
But we don't know how you get there.
We're working on how you get there.
Type in.
No, they built us a URL that we can share, but apparently it expires.
This is so low rent.
Okay.
But we're trying.
I know.
Jake, we're trying.
I know.
Rather than just say, ugh, no, we don't get it. We're trying.
I got it. Do we have a Snapchat?
No.
MySpace.
We don't have a Snapchat? I thought for sure you would have set us up
Friendster.
with that.
Why?
I don't know. Because you're on it.
Yeah.
He's not on it for work, though, brother.
Oh, okay. I see. For your wiener.
I mean.
The Dumb Zone presents.
Yeah.
Today in History.
Because then whatever you send disappears, right?
It's supposed to.
You found out
whatever.
The hard way. What happened to cyber dust? Remember that?
Yeah, I do. There was a time where
the cubes
made me. If I wanted to book him, I had to use it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, dude.
Hey, why not?
Got the job done.
Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't tell you to do it through his Discord.
No,
You
I
would
would have
never
been
able to
lost.
do that.
Yeah, absolutely befuddled.
So today is Thursday, February 29th. The 29th. I can't remember the last time I researched the 29th. Maybe it was 4 years ago.
I bet, yeah.
So, what has happened on this day? Certainly not that many things, but on this day in 1504, Christopher Columbus, he was stranded in Jamaica during his fourth voyage to the west. He frightened
Why'd you say it like that?
hostile natives into providing food for his crew by correctly predicting a lunar eclipse.
Damn. That's quite the trick.
You might be able to do something with your daughter. Like, if you don't listen, if you don't clean your room, I'm going to black out the sun.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, come outside, hon. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's dark.
Right.
She'll just think I'm God.
Right.
That's not a bad idea.
On April 8th, right? On this day in 1940, Hattie McDaniel became the first black actor to win an Academy Award. The Best Supporting Actress for Gone with the Wind.
It's a tough scene.
I was thinking they did this on purpose on February 29th so they wouldn't have to celebrate it that often. But why are you saying it's a tough scene?
Well, wasn't she banned from the ceremony?
Oh.
Like she wasn't allowed in the building.
You're telling me in 1940?
Which is weird, too, because it's like, then why'd you give her the award? Like, to do one and not the other it always seemed like an odd quirk of history to me. But yeah, she was not allowed in, it might have been like the Beverly Hills Hotel or something. Something like that. But she was not allowed to receive her award.
Despite all the libs in Hollywood?
Yeah, well.
On this day in 1960, the first Playboy Club opened, featuring waitresses in bunny outfits. It opened in Chicago.
Didn't we have one here once upon a time?
I don't know.
I mean, it's way before my time, but I feel like we had one in like the 80s.
Okay, here's something interesting that I was looking at this morning. On this day 42 years ago, 1980. Wait, 44 years ago that would be.
You were
Whatever.
close.
My point really is it's this day in 1980. Gordie Howe. So a couple interesting things happened on this day. Number one, it was the St. Louis Blues' 1,000th regular season game. So that's barely interesting, though.
Even barely is a little bit more than I would.
Well, I only bring that up just to say there's actually something way more interesting. So Gordie Howe scored a goal. That put him, so that's somewhat interesting as well. It made him the first NHL player to ever have 800 career goals. That gets super interesting, right? What if I told you, though, and this is an NHL game. Isn't like the rival league that popped up or whatever. This is the NHL. He was 51 years old.
Who did I see the other day? Isn't like Albert Bell? Is Albert Bell dead?
No.
I saw somebody the other day that's still playing at like 56. But as you said, not at like the highest level.
Is it Manny?
It might be Manny.
I think Manny Ramirez might be out there. I know Julio Franco played
till he was definitely mid-50s. But yeah, that is insane.
Not
that's
in
the actual NHL.
Majors, though, yeah.
Yeah.
That year, Gordie Howe played 80 games, scored 15 goals, and had 26 assists at the age of 51.
Ridiculous. No helmet.
Did I pay off on that being interesting?
It got better.
Thanks, man.
It got better.
On this day in 1996, Daniel Green convicted in North Carolina. He murdered James R. Jordan.
No comment.
The father of Michael Jordan during a 1993 roadside holdup. He was sentenced to life in prison. You feel that that's all there is there? Nothing else to see?
The NBA sent him?
Maybe some questions about Jordan's gambling debts.
Now, this day in 2016, Justice Clarence Thomas posed some questions during a Supreme Court oral argument dealing with gun rights. And the only reason I guess this is notable, it says, those questions he posed, that broke 10 years of courtroom silence for him. Apparently, he's just
chilling. That's awesome. Just show up and be like, I don't know. What are you guys doing?
All right.
Here?
Has anyone ever talked about that?
I did not know that.
Like, my thought that I don't feel like a lifetime contract should ever be with anything. Certainly marriage, if anything, maybe, but you are a different person. You get married at 20, you're way different. You get married at 30, you're going to be way different at 50. And you're just going to hope that we kind of stay on the same path because we were kind of similar, many years ago. And even if you don't, you might be like, it's just too much of a beating to get out of it.
Yeah, you got to pay a lawyer. These kids are going to be depressed.
But who decided that? Why would the Supreme Court be a lifetime appointment? Do you feel like that's ridiculous, or?
I mean, I do think it's ridiculous, but I also obviously see the logic in it, which is that they don't want them to be subject to the whims of elections.
Yet they now seem to.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though, is that
way.
they're not constantly having to campaign. Like, the fact that that's how it works at like a county level, right?
Yeah.
And that you've got to make this decision for this person or that person because they lined your pocket or whatever. And there's no.
Can I sell you on 10 years, 15? I don't know.
I think there's probably a middle ground somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just some kind of a number that wouldn't end necessarily with I don't know. But we're not going to change it, are we?
We're not going to change anything ever.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's awesome that Clarence Thomas was able to just show up at work for a solid 10 years and be like, I am not opening my mouth today.
I just don't want to do anything.
I'll be in the break room. If you guys need me, I'll vote. It's going to be about it.
Birthdays today, we have, of course.
That's a hero, actually.
We've already mentioned Jordan Reiner.
Yes, leap year birthdays.
Monty Kiffin is 84.
Were those fun days?
What a strange era. I mean, it was 1 year, right? Maybe 2.
Cowboys defensive coordinator for 1 year, 2013.
So weird.
Former Cowboy John Nyland is 80. He was the first-round pick in 1966. Was a guard for a decade. Tyrese Halliburton is 24.
Dang.
Dude, Hallie is the future.
Tony Robbins is 61.
Always wanted to go.
And Ja Rule.
Where is Ja?
Is 45.
Find out what Ja thinks about this.
I end with...
I don't want to dance. I'm scared to death.
Allow me to end with, for today's birthdays, Jack Lausma. Jack Lausma is 85. He is a former astronaut. And next, as I kind of searched his name this morning and looked at his Wikipedia page, it indicated he is in the United States Astronaut Hall of Fame.
What do they have? Like, do you have to have Goose get up there?
So I looked into that.
Pound the table for you?
The
Is it just going to space enough to be in the Astronaut Hall of Fame?
Well, let's take a look at the Astronaut Hall of Fame, shall we?
He's just been waiting to play this.
What is the Astronaut Hall of Fame, you ask? Well, I'm glad.
No one did.
I'm glad you were wondering about that, because I was myself earlier today, but now I'm your guy. So, yeah, there's a U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame. How did the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame even come to be? Well, it says here...
He had to leave his house really early, so like the 30 minutes he had for the show was dedicated to this.
So, the Mercury 7 was a group of 7 astronauts selected to fly spacecraft for Project Mercury. It was the original group of astronauts. They may call them the original 7 or Astronaut Group 1, but they're commonly referred to as the Mercury 7, okay?
Did they retire their numbers?
Well, here's what's really interesting here.
Who would you rather meet, the Texas 7 or the Mercury 7?
I think you know.
So in the 1980s, the 6 surviving members, because that was way back in the, 50s or 60s or some garbage, the 6 surviving members in the 80s thought up the idea...
You don't get to just create your own Hall of Fame.
Of the Astronaut Hall of Fame.
No. Hey, launching this weekend, the Dumb Zone Hall of Fame.
The inaugural class.
We will have 4 inductees. Michael Copeland.
Once they figured this all out and had the first ever class of inductees in 1990, they inducted the Mercury 7. That was the inaugural class.
You know what would have been a lot funnier is if only 4 of them got in.
They invented the Hall of Fame so that they could be honored in the Astronaut Hall of Fame.
The inaugural class, yeah.
I feel like you have to have a lot of respect for that.
I mean, I do. It just seems incredibly shameless for somebody who's like a brilliant scientist who's been to space. Like, do you really need that?
You know, you might have forgot about us.
Today we are
all
launching the TexanAthens.com Hall of Fame.
Everybody, though, in 1980, you're like,
you're all in.
Everybody's into this Bee Gees and the...
What?
I'm just saying, what are you bitching about in 1980? Everybody care. You think those hostages in Iran are... everybody's forgetting about what we did.
Okay.
What if we start... shouldn't there be a Hall of Fame to honor us? I think there should be. Do you second that motion? Here, and then they hit a gavel, and then they convince people, they get donors, and they say, well, who should be the first? I don't know. I don't want to say it should be us, but I mean, who went up first? Maybe it should be that. I mean, who went into space first, or no? I mean, if you've done something better, that's cool.
Yeah.
I guess you risked your life.
Yeah, that's quite pretentious.
Anyway.
And that was today.
Are you upset that I spent my half hour of free time this morning on that?
Where is it?
Oh, wait, what are we doing?
Still playing the song. Where's the Hall of Fame? Like, do they have a physical location? Is it next to an Orange Julius like the hockey one?
Oh,
like, don't we need to go?
In the mall?
Yeah.
Get
some orange chicken.
Well, I'd like to thank Kelly and Camille and the Texans. The Texan.
Yes, the Texan.
And the Texans.
And the food catered by Smoky Bee Barbecue.
In Athens, Texas.
That's right.
The great Athens, Texas, home of Jake's next wedding.
There's no doubt.
I'd like to thank Michael Copeland And perhaps at this point, you could see it right across the screen that it says Michael Copeland or CopelandProductions.com.
He wants to get in the video.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The girls love Michael Copeland.
They do.
How could they not?
And they should.
And closing remarks.
Anybody?
Oh, okay. We got a Space is Super Gay.
I should be in the.
You love that that's following you around? Oh, now you're going to embrace it.
Yeah, I don't care anymore.
Adios, mofo.